listening to the Go Like a Martial Hour on freedomtalkradio.net.
Now listen up, you dildo carpet munching lesbians. Drop those dildos and reach for the stars. The Galactic Martial Hour is back in town.
Volcano erupting. Yes. Well, hello there.
Hello.
Just had a bit of volcano erupting after the stadium applause, the thunder clap and the thunder roll and the airplane landing.
And dildos.
Oh my God.
Drop those dildos and reach for the sky.
I have no idea. Because everything was wiped out of our library, I went into the hard drive, the Seagate, to see what was in the archives. And so I found the intro, but I had no idea it had that on the end of it. Completely I think I remember the recording of it, but it was...
all those lesbians.
Yeah.
Drop those dildos and reach for the sky.
Yeah.
The Marshall's back in town.
Anyway, so an intro to remember, as always. And hello,
but
Ross,
isn't it
and hello,
prophetic
Mark. Yes.
That it lines up with Adam being kicked out by some move that appears to be angelic.
Yes.
And that the place he was staying at was with two dykes. And I said to him, quite truthfully, because he'd been in Holland, I said, now you've got the opportunity to put your finger in two dykes.
Oh, yuck. Anyway, how awful. Bottom line is he's out of there.
But now the police raided the joint.
On Friday afternoon. Nobody had any idea why.
No search warrant.
At first we thought it was just his room, but no, it wasn't. It turned out to be
the whole house.
The whole house.
And so and apparently the house is owned by a policeman.
In the local area.
And of course they all know who Adam is. I mean, you can't
yes, they follow him around like you wouldn't...
They follow me around, they follow him around, right?
Yes,
it's that simple.
yes.
So, yeah, he was given his walking orders by these two dykes. And I suppose before the dykes cracked and the flood came.
Yeah. The dam burst. Anyway, it's all good. It's turned out that he looks like he's going to enter paradise after all.
Did he ever get his finger into them?
Oh, please. Revolting. Oh. All right, what are we talking about today? What are we talking about today?
Oh, well, I've been looking at another PowerPoint I'm going to do. Basically on Ratzinger
how he is the beast of Revelation, in the sense of, if you're head of a corporation, you are the beast, because the church does exactly what you say. And he followed in the steps of the most beloved, in his mind, saint,
yes,
which was
John
wounded to death but did live on May the, was it 13th or something? In 1981. 942 days after he became Pope, on the 666 minutes of Rome, sunrise to sunset, when he was elected in the conclave,
and that was October,
on the 13th of October
1978.
So Ratzinger was a perfect patsy. He was set up and just beat Francis in the election, but they went along with him because he was doing everything that, and naive as he is or was, in the same venue as what John Paul II was,
yes,
who was involved in the murder of John Paul I, who was going to expose the banking fraud that was in the Vatican Bank. And if you recall, when I spoke to the Pope, he repented. So he's no longer the beast. So he was the beast that was wounded to death but did live, taken over by the beast of 1711, Revelation, and that will become the 7th. So he's obviously the 7th because he's still alive, and he becomes the 8th, right? Because I renamed him and re-blessed him as being the Pope of the new church, because he recognised me, because he is going back in prophecy, the first to recognise you art thou the Christ, which was what Peter said to me in the first place when I asked him who I was. So he's already set himself up to be the one that would then repeat himself in the reincarnation, even though he has gone through this apostate church, and he was caused to do that.
Yes.
Right? The information, had he been given the information at the beginning of his church, he wouldn't have believed it. In fact, he was. I did write to the church.
Yes.
Because it never gets through to the Pope anyhow. Right? So eventually, when I was talking to him, he realised that it was all to do with the Jews.
Yes.
Because I asked him what your problem was, and he said it's the Jews.
Yeah.
So, had he not been totally devoured, he wouldn't have been on as Pope. That's what got him through to being the beast all the way through. Then he recognises the Christ. Then he is then reinstated by myself, and I renamed him as Petros Romanus, and you'll come back as the Pope.
Yes.
Everlasting.
Yeah. He's
the last Pope, because now we're bringing immortality to him as well.
Yes.
So he'll do as I say, as opposed to doing what Bishop wanted to do, and the cardinals.
Now, of course, we've been listening to, again, Peter Diamond, who does awesome work at exposing and the Catholic prophecies and the scriptures aligning with the Catholic prophecies and Fatima and all the rest of it. These things are true. However, the Diamond brothers themselves, they also have been sent the information, and how much they've got through, we don't know. But
probably not.
Because we don't know. But their work is extraordinary. And because we were listening yesterday afternoon, he mentioned an Antonio Socio, who wrote a book but was also figured in with Benedict. And anyway, it sent me digging deep, and this is what I found yesterday, because it aligns with your communications with Benedict at the time, and it's all about the 6 seals. Now, we're familiar with the 6 seals of the Revelation, but just the pathetic prophetic, this was happening. Benedict had already announced on March the 12th, "Thou art the Christ, Salvator Mundi, Brian Lenegan, Lightly Marshall." Your shrouded face photograph was uploaded as a tribute to you, a place of holiness and honour. Father Giuseppe uploaded it as the cover page for Benedict on his Facebook page.
Right.
That was the first official public announcement. It was the next day, March the 13th, that Francis was elected. Now, what's interesting is that according to the rules, set down for the conclave, there's only allowed to be 4 rounds of voting in any one day that the conclave convenes. Francis was elected in the 5th round of voting on March the 13th, which means that the format itself made it illegitimate according to the rules. But what's interesting is, listen very carefully to this, this is amazing. The Vatican itself, all of the papal apartments and the gates around the Vatican Palace were sealed during the conclave. They're sealed for a purpose, and they're sealed with red ribbons and an apostolic seal of wax over those red ribbons that are wound across the doors and over the locks. I'm looking at the photograph here. Now, this is from the site that is called novusordowatch.org, Vatican Conclave Mystery. And it's just got at the top here, during the Ratzinger-Bergoglio transition. It's titled Vatican Mystery, 6 Seals Broken, Open During the Conclave. The photograph that I described to you. No, it's not a rumour, it's not a theory, and it's not fiction. It is fact, confirmed by the account printed in the Vatican's official collection of ecclesiastical documents, the Acta Apostolicae Sedis, meaning the Acts of the Apostolic See, Volume C, V 105, N 4-5, pp 367 to 369. So it's talking about the page and paragraph, etc. This most recent installment of the Acta was just released and can be downloaded as a PDF file directly from the Vatican website here. After the resignation of Benedict XVI, which took effect at 8 p.m. Central European Time on February 28, 2013, the Novus Ordo Cardinals met in conclave to elect his successor. The conclave began on March the 12th, 2013, and ended the following day after Jorge Mario Bergoglio received a sufficient number of votes on the 5th ballot and announced his acceptance of the election. At some point during the conclave, it has now been officially confirmed. At least 6 seals were broken open. Hello? Are we listening? Are we understanding this, peoples? Seals affixed to doors of various rooms and elevators in specific sections of the Apostolic Palace. This testimony comes directly from 3 high-ranking officials of the Apostolic Chamber. The following is an excerpt of the official report in the Acta. The translation is from the original Italian, dated March the 14th, 2013. Members of the Apostolic Chamber met with 2 high-ranking Swiss guards to begin with the removal of all the seals. This is their account. These same officers, Mr. Christoph Graf, Deputy Commander of the Pontifical Swiss Guard, and Major William Cloter, having already been informed that, by order of the most eminent Cardinal Chamberlain, the Vice-Chamberlain will proceed to the removal of the seals previously placed on the entrances of the papal apartment, except for the main front door of the apartment and the door leading to the noble elevator. Accompany those present to the designated locations. I, Clerk of the Apostolic Chamber, certify the integrity of the seals on the main front door, wrought in iron and glass, and on the door at the right of the main door of the papal apartment, and proceed with their removal. Having completed his first task, the most excellent Vice-Chamberlain, accompanied by the above-mentioned persons, goes to the second loggia of the Apostolic Palace for the removal of the other seals placed on the entrances listed below. Now,
so he went to the first one, it was intact.
It was intact, so he removed it. That was his job. Right. Okay. So now there are another 7 seals. He goes up a gate for access.
7 more?
Well, he's got the list of 7.
Okay.
All right.
So there's 6 more to go.
Just let me get through this the way it reads. You've got 1, the upper gate for access to the spiral staircase in the loggia. 2, access door to the Holy Father's private elevator from the spiral staircase of the antechamber into the loggia. 3, grey wooden door that leads from the St. Ambrogio room to the secretary's offices. 4, big wooden door facing east in the St. Ambrogio room. 5, the door that leads from the Clementine Hall to the private library. 6, small door that leads from the Clementine Hall to the corridor behind the noble elevator. 7, access to the Holy Father's private elevator from the courtyard of Sixtus V. It goes on, this is the report. The most excellent Vice-Chamberlain and those present certify that all the entrances listed, with the exception of the one referred to in number 1, had their previously placed seals removed. About this, Major Cloter declares that in his round of inspection carried out at 4:30 p.m. yesterday, March the 13th, all seals previously affixed to the entrances of the Apostolic Chamber were still intact and showed no tampering. I, Clerk of the Apostolic Chamber, taking into account what was declared by Major Cloter, proceed, after having certified its integrity, to removal of the only seal still remaining, namely the one on the upper gate for access to the spiral staircase. Mr. Graff then informs the Vice-Chamberlain that following the announcement of the election of His Holiness Pope Francis at 8 p.m. of March the 13th, the most excellent Monsignor, substitute Secretary of State, has ordered that all entrances to the rooms of the Vatican Apostolic Palace reserved for the conclave should be reopened. And then that is the end. The reference is Resurrectio Conclavis Acta Apostolicae Sedis, and then the reference earlier. So it goes on, this report in the acta is signed by Archbishop Pier Luigi Celata, Vice-Chamberlain Monsignor Assunto Scotti, Dean of the College of Cleric Prelates, and Dr. Antonio Di Lorio, Notary Chancellor. All 3 of them are officials of the Apostolic Chamber, so it doesn't get much more official than this. Then this goes on, but what are we to make of this? What is certain is that 6 seals were broken open, and obviously they were broken open. This goes on to surmise. They were broken open because someone wanted to gain entrance to the sealed rooms. But who and why? And how is it that the seals on these doors were violated without anybody noticing? At this point, we simply do not have any answers. It is possible, however, that the break-in had something to do with the VatiLeaks case, the Vatican Bank controversy, or the homosexual subculture / gay lobby scandals that rocked the modernist Vatican during the waning days of Benedict XVI's pontificate. We remember the dossier of which Benedict had spoken that he would pass on to his successor. Vaticanist Giuseppe Nardi reports that it is possible that additional seals on other doors and gates were also broken, but as of this time we do not know because no further official records or minutes have been released. And it goes on, ending with, until we have more reliable information, then we can only speculate. The 3 links below have further information on this topic. Now, the whole point of it is that these are 6 seals broken. So and this was immediately after Benedict, the day after Benedict announced the Christ returned, Salvator Mundi.
And that brings in your 6 seals of Revelation.
The 6 seals of the Revelation. Let me open. Have you got yours open?
Yeah.
Revelation 6:12 is where we are aiming for. Isn't that amazing?
You got 9 minutes, sweetie.
All right, we'll keep going. You bring it up. Have you got yours open?
Trying to get there.
Just read, because now, coincidentally, not. I'll just go over and. All right, hi Herod, hi Andrew, hello everybody else that's joined in the. Were you listening to that? The 6 seals that were broken right after Benedict announced. These were the 6 seals on Vatican gates, each one of them a gate or a door, leading us to the 6 seals of the Revelation and the speculation about our lead up to September the 28th, 2015, just now 19 days away from our time, Yar 717 age.
There you go.
In speaking to our Adam yesterday and the events that are happening in his life, he was talking about how NASA originally denied anything major going on around the dates of, he mentioned the 24th, but the 3 dates in September finishing with September the 28th. NASA originally denying because the whole world is now up and on guard about what's about to happen. And Adam told us that NASA came out to officially deny that anything was going to happen, but they retracted. He said apparently they went, well, we've just actually found two major inbound, I don't know what they're calling them, comets, pieces of rock, whatever, it doesn't really matter, because this is all aligning with Yah's age. And now the revelation of these 6 broken seals in the Apostolic Palace, these gates, right after Benedict announced the Christ. This is what Revelation 6:12 is. This is the 6th seal. And I beheld when he had opened the 6th seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood. Now, everybody knows that when a volcano, for example, has erupted, and the black smoke and the ash, of course, trying to see the sun, first of all, it's darkened, the sun is darkened, and any moon occurring during these days of ash is red like blood. You've only got to look at a moon through the smoke of a fire and it becomes red like blood. And then what happens, the next verse in 13, and the stars of heaven fell unto the earth, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs when she is shaken of a mighty wind. And it talks about, and the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together, and every mountain and island were moved out of their places. And the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman and every free man hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains, and said to the mountains and rocks, fall on us and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb. For the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand?
Zero.
Now, this is, of course, just listening in snippets because we don't listen to him, but Alex Jones, just what he was saying in something that we overheard yesterday or the day before, he's saying over is what we do know is that the elite are scurrying underground, and that Jones himself said he's never known a time when they've been more intent on digging like the rats that they are, and they are scurrying underground.
Well, see, if you get an impact, and I'd like to mention while I'm saying this, that the impact will cause a gigantic explosion of magma towards the surface of the Earth, and therefore what's under the ground is going to be flooded with molten material, and many other catastrophes as well. But the CIA had 2 tunnels on either side of the Madrid fault line, which is the Mississippi River, and 7,000 earthquakes occurred along the fault line, and what you have is 2 fault lines coming together. When one pushes over the other, if it's solid rock and it moves quickly, it creates an inland sea, and the Navy, the US Navy already had it all drawn out where the sea would be, and it's 300 kilometres wide and right up to Canada and down to the Gulf of Mexico. However, the impact was not going to occur in that sense that with the 2 fault lines coming together, there were suddenly all earthquakes along the front edges, and that turned them to rubble. So 2 edges of rubble pushing each other doesn't create an earthquake, because it's just all pushing it's dissolving, if you like, the power of the 2 coming together. Now, that I did have screen captures of that, and it just suddenly disappeared shortly after that off the internet. That the 2 tunnels had reached an atmospheric pressure of 19.7 times the 14.5 pounds per square inch. The front doors on both of these tunnels were sealed shut. Therefore, it just kept on building up pressure like a gigantic tyre, if you like. And then when the doors blew off, it deflated the tunnels, and everything inside it was pulverised to powder.
Yes.
Because over a period of time, all the rock surfaces take on the pressure, maybe several feet deep, and when the pressure in them is released, it just blows up like a bomb going off. And there was 100 miles of tunnel on either side of the Mississippi River where this occurred. So it goes to show you that they're playing with the wrong guy here, because this is what I do. Right? They don't realise it, they're too stupid. They're scurrying like rats. They think they can get away from me, they can't. So these impacts coming in, you get just one drop into the Atlantic Ocean and that's it. Right? You've then got the Deep Horizon that was in the Gulf of Mexico, and that's lined up with the gigantic mountains over 6,000 feet high on Las Palmas in the Canary Islands, and it's ready to slip. It's already been moving, and the 43 trillion cubic kilometres or tonnes or whatever it was, if it slips into the drink, then a wave will hit the United States, and that'll wipe it out one go. So get out as soon as you can and move away from the coast. That's what you've got to do from the east coast anyhow. And this is what's happening. So, can't do much about it, but it will soon sort the world out. You get rid of the most powerful nation on earth with one swoop, and it has got to be the worst nation of all time, with the likes of Obama, a Muslim, and gay marriages and all these things that I hate have come to pass. The next step is take it out. Right? Kill it. If you get a snake come in your house, what are you going to do with it? You either take it out or you kill it. Right? Put it back where it come from, the pit of hell, or you kill it. Well, I'll kill it. I don't stuff around. Right, so all you people out there that are Jews, you better start listening now. Repent or death. Simple. Roll on 28. What, we've got 18 days to go now?
Yeah. Ooh. I don't even remember what today's date is. I think it's the 10th. No, Wednesday the 9th. Yeah, so 19 days to go.
Well, 18 days to go, then it hits, right?
Yeah, right.
So I'm happy about that.
It's getting very exciting, that's for sure.
Yeah, so we got rid of the dykes one go.
Have the police raid that. That was fun.
Please come and clean them out.
Because Adam, the conversation, I was telling Yara and John Hall this morning that the conversation that Adam had with me was that his